I am going to make some cilantro lime chicken that I'm going to cook in a grill pan on the stove. You could cook it on the grill outside, but I thought I would show you how to do this particular one because it's a great, delicious marinated chicken. So come on along and bleed and green with me. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Elizabeth and I am living in the light by documenting my weight loss journey, and I'm using Optavia's 5-in-1 program. My goal is to lose 150 pounds on the Optavia program, and so far I have lost 118 of my 150 pound goals. So I have 32 pounds left to go, and I'm really excited to hopefully get to my goal by the end of the summer. That's my ultimate goal, is to get there by the 1st of October. Part of the Optavia 5-in-1 program has me eating 5 fuelings that come to me in my monthly Optavia box. I have some great Fun with Fuelings videos if you want to see more about that. And then the one part is the lean and green that I get to make myself. I love to cook, and so this gives me a great opportunity to learn portion control, learn how to incorporate foods that are higher in flavor to really help and limit the salt, limit a lot of the additives that we don't really need in our food, and still have things that come out absolutely delicious. The ingredients that I'm going to need for this is 2 pounds of boneless, skinless chicken thighs, a half of a cup of loosely packed cilantro leaves that's already in my food processor, a half of a cup of low sodium chicken broth. I make this myself, and I know there's no sodium in there, so that is perfect for this. 2 cloves of garlic, so I'll plunk that in there. A quarter of a cup of freshly squeezed lime juice, so that's gonna plunk in there as well. And then for my seasonings, I'm gonna use a teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Gives it a little bit of spice. And of course, this is a marinade too, so it's not all gonna stick to it. A teaspoon of cumin, a teaspoon of paprika, and then a quarter of a teaspoon of salt. I don't usually measure the salt, but I'm gonna measure it today, just to show you that I can measure. And a half a teaspoon of pepper. This is too hard to measure, so I'm just gonna do a few little twists in there. Maybe a half a teaspoon, maybe not. And then I'm going to just whiz this up in my food processor and add it to my chicken. So everything is all blended up in the food processor. Sometimes stuff gets stuck up on the lid, especially when you have a mixture that's pretty liquidy. There is 0 fat. I'm probably not 0 because the chicken broth will have some in it because it's impossible to get it all out. And then I'm just gonna dump this on top of my chicken. So very little sodium, very little fat. There is fat in chicken thighs, so I don't need to add any fat to this at all. But I want to get as much of the flavor out of here as I can. And then I'm just going to mix this up, make sure that my chicken pieces all get coated with the mixture. And I will probably go in about an hour or so and give it another little mix up. You can marinate these for 30 minutes to even up to 4 or 5 hours. The longer you marinate it, the more intense the flavors get on here. So give it some time. You don't want to over marinate it though, because you don't want the lime juice to start to cook and break down the fibers of the protein in the chicken. So I wouldn't do it for longer than 4 hours, but cover it, put it back in the refrigerator, let it marinate, and then I will come back at dinner time and we'll talk about grilling the chicken up. The last step is to go ahead and cook my chicken. This has been sitting in the marinade for a few hours. And I am just going to, these are chicken thighs, So I want to make sure that they get a little bit flat on my griddle pan. So I am going to just let this get hot. I'm going to see if it's hot. Yep, totally hot. I'm just going to start laying them out. And I'm going to let them cook for about 5 minutes on each side. I'll have to do this obviously in a few batches. So I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes. Keep an eye on these. Flip them over. Let them go for another 5 minutes. I want to make sure that they are 165 degrees as an internal temperature when they are done. So I have my handy dandy temperature probe here that I will use to temp my chicken, and I will show you what this looks like when it's all cooked. Here's my chicken thighs all cooked up. I will say that it did take longer than 5 minutes aside. On my stovetop, it actually ended up taking at least 10 minutes aside in order for them to cook. So just make sure that you have that thermometer. Do them on the grill, just keep an eye on them. Cook them however you feel comfortable. You could even put them on a sheet pan and roast them in the oven for 20-25 minutes or so. But I hope that you'll give this a try. They are going to make for a delicious lean portion, the lean and the condiment of my lean and green tonight. I get 5 ounces because this is chicken thigh and no healthy fat. I've used all my condiments, so I will just have a vegetable on the side. I think I'm going to do some steamed green beans, and those should be delicious. Please give this a try. Please give my video a thumbs up. It really does help my channel when people like my videos, and when they share them with other people, that also really helps a lot. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, I would invite you to do that. I do lots of healthy recipes, some fuelings that I transform in different ways, and I also have lots of healthy weight loss tips as well. I hope that you will check in with me on my reality check each Monday as I share with you how I'm doing on my weight loss journey. And until I see you next time, please live in the light.